how's everybody doing, and welcome back to Disney Daily. In the movie Encanto, we are introduced right away to the amazing Madrigal family, courtesy of Mirabel's catchy introduction song. And while we do get a quick history on everyone in the family, there is one family member who is not to be talked about. This family member being the timid yet kind-hearted Tio Bruno. We learned that after Abuela Alma was given the magical candle, that each of her children acquired a magical gift. These gifts were bestowed upon them after their father, Pedro, made the greatest sacrifice of them all. The oldest triplet, Juiletta, was given the ability to heal others with her cooking. Pepa, the middle triplet, was given the ability to control the weather with her emotions. And the youngest triplet, Bruno, was given the ability to see into the future as well as interpret it. After a series of negative predictions, Bruno quickly became the town's least favorite Madrigal and became the black sheep of his own family. After Mirabel was not given a gift, Abuela Alma forced Bruno to look into the future, and he had a vision about Mirabel that he found to be quite complex. As you may recall, his visions always featured Mirabel, but the condition of the casita was always changing. At times it looked as though the casita was breaking and falling apart, and then at other times the casita was fully intact. Bruno knew that Mirabel had something to do with the casita, but he couldn't read the vision. He had no clear indication of what the future held and what this meant for both Mirabel and the casita. What I find the most intriguing about this situation was that Bruno couldn't read the vision, which had never occurred before, or at least it was never mentioned in the movie that it happened before. Bruno could tell anyone their future, and he was able to not only predict it, but understand what it meant. I mean, there is a whole song literally dedicated to the accuracy of Bruno's predictions, whether it was about his own family or the townspeople. The fact that Bruno wasn't able to read this vision was extremely odd to me, given how accurate all his other readings had been up until this point. So in today's video, we are exploring the question, why didn't Bruno understand his vision about Mirabel? As I have stated prior in my opening, to me it made no sense that Bruno didn't understand his vision, since that was quite literally his gift. His ability was all based on reading into people's futures. He was the only one who could do that, and he was the only one who could prepare someone for something that was about to happen to them, like the woman who lost her pet fish, or the gentleman who grew the rather large gut. However, when it came to the vision of Mirabel, he described it as, quote, different, and he went on to say that there was, quote, no one answer and no clear fate. But why was that? I think it's important to highlight that Bruno didn't just simply see visions, he understood and could interpret them as well. So how could Bruno's vision be so blurred and unsure? Now, before I dive into my own theory about this, I looked to the internet to see if anyone else had the same question and could provide an answer or theory of some sort. The only thing I stumbled across was an article by Screen Rant, which focused on why Mirabel interpreted Bruno's vision wrong. It reiterated how the vision was spot on in terms of the magic being lost, but then brought back thanks to Mirabel. But what I noticed upon further reading this article is it never really dived into why Bruno couldn't understand it in the first place. Bruno didn't have a definitive answer, and that is what I have been seeking to understand. So let's get into a couple of my own theories for why I think it played out this way, and all of my reasons go hand in hand with one another. The first reason I think this happened was because Abuela Alma forced Bruno to look into the future. You can disagree with this observation, but I believe the visions Bruno has is not something he forces, rather the visions come to him naturally. I think when Bruno in the past has told others of their futures, it wasn't because they pushed him to tell them, rather it was something that happened organically. Don't get me wrong, Bruno could have a vision whenever he felt like it, but he usually let the visions come to him, not him going to the visions. Weird wording, but you know what I'm trying to say. Now let's say you don't believe the visions happened at random and that Bruno chose to look into the future whenever he wanted to. Then it would be important to emphasize that this happened all on his own time and on his own accord. Looking into the future was something that happened when he chose to do so, not when someone else urged him to do so. And I think that says a lot. After all, it is his power, so if anyone understands when to utilize it best, it's him. In addition to him being forced to look into the future, which I think was one of the reasons for the unclear vision, I also believe he looked into the future with a negative mindset. Now hear me out. You have to consider how emotionally scarred Bruno must have become up until this point. I mean, everyone always expected the worst from him, as he stated in the movie, and any vision he had had was always met with negativity. So I think when he looked into the future, he wasn't seeing it clearly because he was already programmed to think the worst of his visions. So instead of maybe trying to dive deeper into the vision and seeing it clearly, he wrote it off instantly as negative and that it would negatively impact Mirabel, and so he left the family. My last theory as to why Bruno may not have understood the vision was because he didn't allow the complete vision to play out in front of him. Rather, he just saw a snippet of it. Now let me explain this a little bit further. In the movie, after Mirabel meets Bruno, she insists he could help her by having another vision. They then go into Antonio's room, where Bruno doesn't have another vision, rather he has the same vision, except this time it plays out and we see various parts to it. We again see the house with Mirabel in front of it like he had seen prior, but then we also see a gold butterfly, the magical candle burning brighter, and then we see Mirabel embracing Isabella. After Mirabel sees this, she yells, and it seems as though she breaks Bruno's trance, and the vision once again ends. I personally believe there could have been even more to this vision, but again, it doesn't play out. Now, there could be a couple of reasons for why the vision didn't play out once again. It could have easily been Mirabel disturbed him, or perhaps Bruno was just once again impatient and didn't let the whole entire vision play out in front of him. I think if Bruno had let the full vision play out, he could have easily told Mirabel that she would be the only one to bring the family back together, make the candle burn brightly again, and show Abuela Alma the error of her ways. Well, that concludes this video for today. Let me know what you all think about this down in the comments, and also tell me who your favorite Madrigal is. As always, thanks for being my guest here at Disney Daily. Until next time.